questions because these are the people in the field.
I believe that so much work has gone into it, and a lot of learnings have been generated. It is also a belief that this learning will, as appropriate in policies, guidelines, and roadmaps, that we ensure that we have access, unhindered access, to family planning, commodity, and services. Why I said it's coming up at the best time. Let me just run down through a prehistoric perspective that will bring this home. You all recollect that around 2012, the Federal Ministry of Health made a policy that family planning commodity will be made available free of charge at the public health facilities. And on the same day that policy was made, government also pledged $3 million for procurement of family planning commodities for use in the country. And in collaboration with major stakeholders, a basket fund was established. That basket fund rose to $12 million the same day it was established. And we continue to ensure uptake of this free family planning commodity. Rapidly, demand became so great that the basket was finding it difficult to meet the demand that we have all created on family planning. So by 2018, federal government increased our own counterpart funding from $3 million annually to $4 million. This still left us with a gap. Presently today, we have a gap of over $12 million. The total forecast for 2021 family planning commodity is about $28.4 million. Whereas what we have in the basket, we leave a gap of over $12 million. So the funding support from partners is also getting drastically reduced. And that is exactly why I said this dissemination is coming at the best of time. We need a lot of innovation if we must sustain access to family planning commodities. Innovation in market approach, innovation in funding, innovation in distribution of this commodity. So it is strongly believed that activities like this that has generated a lot of learning should be able to inform us on the best way to go ahead. And that is why government is quite very keen in the collaboration we have been having on this project up to this point of dissemination.
All right, so we see the population keep rising and everything is on the high side. So for subsequent studies, we recommended to SFH that all relevant stakeholders should be identified, advocated to, and sensitized about the study before commencement of the study. You never can tell if somebody from maybe a facility can just call up a friend at a ministry, and then the person is like, some people are here, they want to do this, and then the friend will be saying, I don't know, why are they there? I'm not informed. So we see that it is germane to have this information spread across prior to when the data collection will actually take place. And then we also recommended that it would probably be better if the trainings were done locally in Lagos State, and then pilot survey is done, because we did the training in Abuja, we did the pilot survey in Abuja. So coming down, taking it back home to Lagos and seeing our own area here, it was difficult to explain that what we could achieve in Mpape in Abuja couldn't just be achieved in Lagos at a go. So our other recommendations would be that the NOA orientation, the National orientation agency. They keep up with their work in orienting the public of the importance of research. Research will continue to take place, but it's still not good if an average Nigerian cannot tell you why they are doing research. Or still feel after all said and done, they will just gather this data and not do anything. Some people were even advising us, why can't you sit under somewhere and feel these things by yourself? Why are you disturbing us? We had one that, each time the enumerators, the research assistants, they have one or two other challenges on the field, they call on me. Whoever I am with, I have to go and meet the other person to help solve this challenge. Sometimes we'll be at the door, we'll just be begging, and we can hear you, we can see you, open the door, all those level of cajoling. And at the end of the day, they will just be like, you ladies, you lost stress. You could have sat down there somewhere. So it took us, I think for some people, by the time they see us coming into their household persistently, they didn't have any other choice than to just give us the audience. Because we too, they disturb. Oh yeah, come, let me answer you. And at the end of the day, they found out it was even interesting. Some researches can be boring, but for family planning, getting to know what people do, I think everybody is active one way or the other, and they are trying to avoid the pregnancy. So what are you doing? That's what we just wanted to know. So it was a very interesting research, and I'd like to use this opportunity to appreciate the research team that worked with me. I tell them that, in fact, we have to rub our hands, knock ourselves, and then we still kick off the project the following day. I told them work must be done, and I'm proud that we're able to put our differences beside to get the job done for SFH. So thank you very much for listening to my presentation. It's another working.
Ensure that they step down what you want to do to their members. For a place like MedPlus, you can't just walk into MedPlus and say you want to get information. But if you have ensured that PCN and ACPN probably write something, even if it means to write and post on the chat rooms of community pharmacists, even they didn't tell them directly, but there must be a way that PCN and ACPN is the Association of Community Pharmacists of Nigeria. There must be a way that ACPN and PCN should notify them officially as a whole group that so and so people will be coming around in your premises, and please accord them cooperation. If you have ensured that that is done, then I don't think people like MedPlus would have had issues with them, because their MD would have got the information earlier and probably informed all their branches that you are coming.
Was visited, and he insisted that without my permission, he will not grant them access. So at that point, I was able to come in. So as she has advised, before any other project work is started, let everyone that is needed to be involved and carried along know. And for NAPMED, I think the coverage area for the research work, I don't think there's a NAPMED member there. Because of urbanization, Surulere is limited to PPM vendors. Thank you.
Professional studies that we were able to find across, not just in Nigeria. So with that in mind, we set out to modify the CM4FP project to capture, to put all those into consideration so that we can get a more robust data. Okay, so we tested the feasibility and utility of, a range of novel, approaches to capture this information. We looked at data from urban locations. So what we did was we categorized the 4 locations by urbanization. So we had Lagos as a large urban area. We had Kaduna as a middle urban, location. Then we had Abia as a peri-urban, and then we had Niger State as a small, Abia as a small urban, and then Niger as a peri-urban location. And then another unique thing we did was we did a complete census of all outlets in the study area, and the study area was expanded. That's why we have the inner ring and then the outer ring that Chinedu tried to mention. And then there was a longitudinal follow-up, so we came to the same respondent quarterly. It was supposed to be 4 times, but we were able to complete 3 longitudinal surveys before the COVID set in fully. And of course, there were also multiple linkages of women to specific outlets. There are specific outlets, okay? So, for instance, if we're able to match a woman, we've asked you, questions and then asked you where do you get the service, and the woman tries to identify that facility, we pull out that facility, okay, from our tab, because we use the ODK, we'll talk about that, and survey solution to be able to get a database of all those facilities during mapping. So we can pull out the picture of the facility and say, is this the one you're talking about? So there was actual, identification. So, like I said, the methodology, it was a multi-round longitudinal FPL census with an accompanied repeated cross-sectional household mapping and census. And this was conducted not only in Nigeria, but in other 3 other locations, but generally in 12 locations across these 3 countries. So we had a robust data that we can look at for data analysis. And then finally, I'll talk about the inner. So I'll show you a sketch, okay? Yeah, of the inner ring and the outer ring. So you can see what we did. We went up to, like for Lagos State, for instance, our inner ring was just about 0.7 kilometers, whereas the outer ring covered a radius of about 10 kilometers, about 7 kilometers. So that's like 10 times. The outer ring covered an area that was 10 times larger than the inner ring. So in the inner ring, we had all the households that we could identify and all the facilities in those households. And then we went out to the outer ring to identify every single outlet and facility that we could identify in those outer rings. So that's how we were able to get our, study area. Now, like I said, the ODK-based survey CTO software that we used was able to get a database, and we uploaded actual facility with a GIS system, a geographic information system, and then actual picture of facilities onto the ODK, and then there was an automated matching. So once you search, it pulls out very fast the particular facility you're talking about. And then we collected information on every outlet that was available. So the mapping was very robust, and the research assistants were really, really helpful. They really did a great job identifying every single facility. So these details were now uploaded onto that database, and then once there is a match, like I said earlier, you can pull out the actual picture and say, is this the facility you're talking about? And then you know that you've gotten a match. So, another thing we did was to identify eligibility criteria for both the outlets and for the respondents. So it was important, so that we don't just go talk to everybody. Okay, and then I'll talk about limitations. Those are part of our limitations, but that was how this study was designed. So we have women who are currently using an FP method, or at least have used in the past 12 months, and then or have gone to obtain in the past 12 months. And then, most importantly, they obtained it by themselves, not by telling a friend or anybody. And then they obtained it from outlets that were within the study area. So those are the general criteria. Now, looking at this, of course, there were limitations, okay? First, the estimates were not designed to be, nationally scalable, okay, because of the criteria that we developed. And then the study urban focus meant that you cannot extrapolate these results to rural areas, for instance. Okay, so these are just the urban focus studies, so those are the part of the limitations. And then, of course, like I said earlier, the strict criteria meant that we excluded a lot of women. For instance, if there is any woman in Lagos who obtained services from a facility beyond 7 kilometers, and that woman will automatically be excluded from the survey. And then data on facility quality were not connected. So the issue is like previous speakers have spoken. If you come into a facility and you start proving about quality, automatically, whether you are carrying a cross on your head as a pastor, they will peg you a regulatory agent. You have come for fact finding. So we looked at it, and it would have been very difficult for us to conduct this survey if, for instance, you come to a household and they are asking questions that will make them feel that the state government have sent you to find out if they are living well or not, or if they have a facility is registered or quality and everything and all that. So we excluded, because of what we are looking for, we excluded all those quality kind of questions from the questionnaire. So, next slide. Let's look at the results we got from Lagos State. This is where it becomes very interesting. And my DMD mentioned earlier, these results have attracted serious attention because, like I said earlier, I don't think there's any study that has been this robust and that has had this kind of in-depth analysis, and we are still running analysis with the data that we received. So if you look at this here, the NAPMED, the PCN, I'm sorry to say, when we were coming in 2019, some other implementers were telling us, I don't know if it is the level of advocacy. Okay, they made everything so easy for us. There is no review meeting that we had that these same people you're seeing here were not in attendance. And Ma, you talked about informing their members. I can beat my chest and tell you that they did that. The PCN, the NAPMED, they were able to go down, sometimes even without us, to inform them that we are coming. Of course, there is always the Judas in every 12, but I can attest to the fact that they did a lot of job. And then finally, I want to, the last but not the least, the local people in the local government. Our gatekeepers. Mama is here. Mama has always answered us. I didn't know that there is Yoruba inside Yoruba. Because when we met difficulty, we called Mama. Mama will now change the Yoruba, and before you know it, things has worked. So thank you so much, everybody. We are very glad, and we'll always come back to Lagos. Thank you so much.
Easy, Maji Shade Adu. Tommy get easy, Maji Shade Adu. Àti gbogbo tó fẹ́ lèmi gbà fún. Àti gbogbo tó fẹ́ lèmi gbà fún. Tommy get easy, Maji Shade Adu.
Program, and we're fortunate enough to say that even within our regular TWG meetings, the community pharmacists, they're all represented within that space. You talked about Lagos State being unique, but it's most likely the reverse of what you have in all the other states. We favor the private sector heavily in Lagos State. 55–60% of our clients still use the private sector. And so we understand that, be it private sector clinical, where you have the regular hospitals and clinics, or non-clinical, the community pharmacists and the PPMVs, they are part of this process and this fight with us. which is why we're really happy with the SFH Integrate E project, where we train CPs and PPMDs. And for us as a state, even though their data is not yet in the national HMIS database, we have access to the staging server where we collect their data. And when we do our program review, we know what it is they contribute towards increasing family planning uptake. And so we're happy to work with you within this space. Just a few comments, not really questions. We talked about quality. I think the one thing that keeps clients coming back to you is quality. Whatever it is you do, once you get them into your facility, the reason why they come back is because they have trust and confidence in that service you render. And so they will therefore keep coming back. So we are also of the opinion, just like Dr. Falabi has said, that training and capacity building is a continuum. For us, today we're finishing a batch of training. We've trained over the last month 120 people, healthcare workers, both from public and private sector. And this is the second time we're training people from private sector because we know, I mean, once you're in Lagos, it doesn't matter where you've come from, but you're in Lagos, so we regard you as a Lagosian. We're obliged to provide service for you. So we work very well with the private sector people. And we believe that they have confidence in the people, they will come back there. With regards to distance, I think it has to do more with a behavioral issue because we still have a lot of clients who feel they might require support from their spouse or their partner to be able to utilize family planning methods. So the farther they go away from home, the more there's confidentiality for them. So you don't necessarily know what it is they're using and what it is they're on, but they require that service, so they go. We're also happy to know that affordability is not something that was a top factor here, because in Lagos State, we get our commodities from the basket source, as Dr. Falabi has said, but we're also procuring this year for the first time. And we also have consumables procured by the Primary Healthcare Board, which ensures that when you go to at least the public sector, there are no fees. So we expect people to be able to come back. Providers bias is still a factor because whether you like it or not, people come with their religious and cultural issues. But we try, as part of the retraining process, balanced counseling is always the very first thing, and value clarification. And with the youths we have almost 50% of the population in Lagos State are young persons. We understand the challenges of ensuring that adolescents are youth-friendly services. So we're currently building capacity as well for our health workers in being able to walk and speak and have young persons and adolescents as their clients. So that, because you know, people like adolescents, if they really want to access services, they will not go around their facilities or around their households. They have to go further because they don't want Mama Risikat next door to see them somewhere and say, what are you doing there? Or anybody that lives in the area. So these are issues that we're currently trying to work out at the state level. But the survey is always very important to us because as scientists, we must work with evidence. So this has helped to buttress some of the things we know, some of the things we're working on. And so we thank you very much once again for this. Thank you.
My boss just talked now, and I want to pick it from the data angle. And well, the survey has actually revealed a lot of things. I mean, that is the true nature of what we have in the state, especially concerning the PPMDs and the CPs. And we have seen that quite a lot of women actually go to these outlets, the CPs and PPMDs. And one thing is, just like you mentioned, that the data is available, their data is available on the staging server. And I just want to use this opportunity to, urge or to find out from the Federal Ministry of Health what is the status of the linking of the staging server to the DHIS so that we can have this on the public domain.
Thank you. We're going to go for a